like if you Google the MrTechnicalDifficult, there's like this huge thread of people on Reddit like trying to figure out like what happened to that guy. And it's always funny because I'm like, did people really think I was gonna prank call hookers for the rest of my life? Like, I tell this dude that's in the office with me all the time, I'm like am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, go ahead.
I fucking hate doing like the same shit over and over and over again, which like making like online videos, like you can do a lot of like different things. But the problem was like a lot of the audience, all they ever wanted to see was like the same old stuff. And it was just like, well, one, I got my channel terminated, but two, at that point, I was just kind of getting like burnt out on doing just kind of like the same old like 5 pieces of content. And you could put it on me and say like, oh, well, why didn't you do something else? But like the immaturity of like all my content that I would do, I was like, I can't do this when I'm 30 years old. Like, it's just like, I gotta move on. Like, I gotta move on to something that, you know, that I could like pass on to my kids or something along those lines. Like, all I'm doing is basically making the content, getting a check from it, and then that was that. And so it was like, one, I don't want my kids watching me fucking prank call and talk sexual to prostitutes or just people, even on chat roulette. Basically, I made all my YouTube stuff it's everything surrounded around like sexuality, so all the jokes and everything. And I mean, that's not even like the main cause that like why I stopped doing it. I still, even to this day, like here and there, I'll pop on every like 6 months and post a video. And then
yeah, maybe we could actually like take it a little bit like step by step, because I was curious about actually the entire kind of story and the journey of how you first got started, because I know a little bit as well, like what happened.
For some reason I was checking out, I think I was like looking for like highlights or something for a Call of Duty game. I wasn't like actually like subscribe to anybody or like actively, like nowadays I'll watch like YouTube videos of people fishing for like 30 minutes and I'm just like, what the fuck, what kind of wasted time is that? But so I came across this guy's video, and his name was White Boy 7th Street, and I was just watching him a little bit. He was actually pretty entertaining, so he might have been the first person I ever subscribed to. And he's from like Wisconsin, so he had kind of like a funny accent, and he's pretty good at the game, pretty entertaining at the game. But he mentioned this one little thing. He mentioned at the end of one of his videos how he was getting paid for his content and paid for these views that he's producing. And instantly I'm like, that's cool, but I can be funnier than that guy. Like, I can be more entertaining than that guy. And at the time, I had just finished college with a law and justice degree. And I'm like,
oh wow, that I didn't know.
Actually, I finished college and I literally had decided I don't want to be a fucking cop. So I didn't pay, I finished college, but I didn't get my degree because I didn't pay the $35 to go and just, they have one final fee to fucking go get your degree. I was like, I don't even care. Like, I'm not doing that, you know, whatever. 20 grand in debt, blah, 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 which actually isn't that much to, you know, for most, like actually my wife, I think we still owe like $60,000 or $70,000 on something she doesn't do. She went to school to be a teacher, taught for a little bit, and she ended up being really good at cake pop stuff. So she's like, I'm just at school and make fucking cake pops. Yeah, who'd have thought? So I saw this guy, White Boy 7th Street. He says this. I'm like, I can be more entertaining than that. So my birthday was coming up, and I asked my wife. We recently got married in college, don't have that much money, and she's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "Well, I kind of want this device that you plug your Xbox in or your gaming device, and it records your shit. You know, records." Because I was like figuring out ways how to set up cameras over my shoulder, and I'm like, this is so ghetto. And then I saw this box, and I'm like, okay, like I want this. And when I asked her about it, she's just like, she like thought I was like the biggest nerd ever. He's just like, it's like, why the fuck would you want to buy that? You know, like, and I was like, and people, whenever I tell this story, people are like, he's just like adding bullshit to the story. And I go, like, when I heard him say that he made a living from these videos, it like sparked this thing in me. And when she was like, "That's the nerdiest shit," and I go, "If you like, I swear, if you buy me this one day, it's gonna pay for our house," and like word for word. And So yeah, long story short, I started making content. At first it was super good. Like I was so like, I'm not gonna say desperate for views, but I didn't know how YouTube really worked. Like it's like now it's like in everybody's life, but like when I started doing stuff, it was like you just go look at some stuff on YouTube here and there, you know. But I basically, I posted some videos, and there was no commentary. It was just straight gameplay. And what I would do is I would put the videos up on browsers and have these browsers automatically refresh every like 10 seconds. And at that time, YouTube would count those as views. And so like my highest video that I let go for a few hours was at like 7,000 views. And I like thought it was cool at the time. I'm like, fuck yeah. Even though they were literally all for me. You know, they literally just know that it was nothing from but me just refreshing, you know.
Do you think that helped you those videos like get some growth behind it as well? Those 7,000.
It's just it's not like it accelerated me into the algorithm or anything. It was just bullshit. But the first time I really started getting a video took off when like my brother of all people had like a really good Call of Duty game, so he played really well, so we like put it in the title like 70-3, you know, Call of Duty, and it was still just like no commentary or anything. And then after that, so I kind of got the actual rush of getting real views. I'm like, oh, that was cool, but it had nothing to do with me, you know, or even it was just gameplay. And so after that, then I kind of started like, all right, the commentaries are a thing now, like, and I did some crazy shit in high school, and I'm like, I'm just gonna start telling like stories over gameplay. Like a lot of the commentary stuff was like yeah, so I went around, you know, it's like actual trying to be like strategic in the game and stuff. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like nobody wants to listen to somebody. I mean, there are people that want to listen, but like to me, it's like I just play. I don't like overthink things, you know. So then I just kind of started doing funny stuff, and the funny stuff started picking up, and I kind of started, you know, I'm like, that'd be so funny to if there's a little kid who wasn't actually a little kid, you know. And then I'm like, well, fuck, you know, I like tech stuff. I'm sure I can figure it out, you know, to change my voice and do things. And that was pretty much like instantly a hit. And then like a lot of like, so I would do this other thing where I'd act like I had a really deep voice, and I would, at the time, I believe I called it like a rapist on Xbox Live, like super out there, edgy, like not just. And then I eventually changed it to creeper instead of a rapist. But I would just go in games, and I would say I would say some fucked up stuff, like just over the top. I remember there was a video. I don't know if it was actually. Oh no, that's what happened. There's like a gaming video where we put the audio of prank calls over the gaming stuff, and like I mean, I don't think I can be canceled, but if I was like a mainstream type dude, because I was always kind of just like the edgy fucking YouTuber, so you always get a pass on those guys. But if I was like a mainstream guy, I can think of probably like 6 videos that we did that definitely 100% would get us canceled, especially with the transsexual crowd, because like there was one where we would prank call transsexual hookers and just say like, God, we would just say some shit. I mean,
yeah, I think I watched basically you I watched for the lols, and then I watched the WoodysGamerTag. Basically, I watched him as a therapist because I know he made a lot of like kind of this I guess more like, you know, being a dad type of content. It's like, hey, you have a girlfriend problem? I will talk about it. That's kind of nice for him.
That's funny you bring him up, because he was like part of like my big break. Like they did this like March Madness, like YouTuber versus YouTuber type thing, and that's when a lot of people would like first saw my stuff, kind of because he would put all the videos on his page. So they would take a commentary video from a YouTuber and another one, and then they would put them head to head, and then people would vote to see who wins. And so I was doing that on his page, and I think it only got like 100,000 views, but it gained like a shitload of, I mean, those were like the who's who at the time of like gaming commentary. And so kind of funny you bring him up, because that's like where I kind of I mean, I was already growing, but that's where I kind of saw like my first like big chunks of growth, and I'm like, oh, you got to start doing stuff with other people, and that's kind of how you gain some of their fans, you give them some of your fans. It's all just a happy time. So
I noticed on Instagram somebody asked you a question as well, like, are you still hanging out with those Minnesota Burns and other kind of like YouTubeable accounts? Is there any relationship still that that you still have been able to hold on to, and you still like hang?
A lot of the dudes, like I still like will kind of text or hit up every now and then if I see like an old piece of content. We did have like we did a podcast with Minnesota Burns and Jimmy, and that's what people ask me probably the most is like, dude, where's the podcast? And even though we're like, it didn't seem like that many people were watching it, but by the amount of people that actually ask us where it's at, it's pretty interesting. But I talked to Jimmy like a couple weeks ago. I talked to him probably every month. But Burns, he's kind of, I don't know what he really does, but he kind of just he doesn't like do anything, I don't think, on the internet anymore. He did have like a little bit of a comeback thing. What I figured, like, comebacks don't work. Like, especially if you come back and like try to do the same old content, especially if it's on like a platform you haven't used in forever. Like, it's because like I mean I've been posting like my first video I did about a year ago, and it was just like oh I'm coming to rescue 2020, and they got like 250,000 views, which was cool, but it's like they didn't do anything for me, because I'm like, it's the same old content. I didn't really like have a ton of fun doing it. It's just like there's nothing unique. It's just literally exactly how I felt when I decided to just focus on the website stuff. I'm like, it's just the same old shit, and I always feel bad for a lot of like my friends that I had on like doing content with, like back in the day. It's like man, some of them have like 2 million followers and they're getting 7,000 views a video. Not that it's about the views and stuff, but it's just getting stuck in that lane of like.
You definitely need to be flexible, yeah. Like I think PewDiePie has done a great job, but if you look at people like Captain Sparkles, like he's been doing this kind of same Minecraft trend. I think he kind of has fallen off the wagon. In some sense.
But what you learn on like doing on YouTube, it's like every now and you hit like a something that works, and then you just want to keep doing that shit because it worked once. And what is the saying? Like the psychos or insanity. That's exactly what it is. Like, keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. But it's like, what do you do? Like, none of these YouTubers or anything. Well, maybe nowadays they are, but back then it's not like they're like professionally trained in how to fucking entertain people. They're just some dudes who turn on a camera and were like, let's see what happens, And same with me. It's like I was never like trained on like how to like keep people engaged and stuff. Like nowadays there's full companies that help you do that stuff, but like back then it was always like just me. Like,
it's so different.
And it's
like it used to be back in the day. Like if you were looking like how to start a YouTube channel, it was like, hey, you just make videos, be passionate about something, don't think about the money, and you're gonna succeed. Whereas right now it's like it's a business. You need to have a niche, you need to have a strategy, and that's where
and that's not, I don't really like that side of it. Like, not that, I mean, but it kind of just from back in the day, it's like I have probably at least 10, they weren't really friends, just like when you got like 2 million followers, everybody wants to be your friend. Everybody wants to like cross post content and do all that shit. Like me, I would never just reach out to people and try to like just to be, oh, this person's big, like I gotta, even though I was on like WoodysGamerTag stuff, but that was like they reach out to me, why would I pass it up? But there's like some people who, like, they really aren't like your friends. Like I've never met or hung out with 90% of these people, but it's like they're like, hey, cross promote, can we do this, can we do that? And I was like, would you be talking to me if I didn't have 2 million followers? Like, but like it's just, to me it's like sad seeing a lot of these guys just like I don't know what they do, if it's like their job and stuff, or they just kind of do it for fun, but just millions of followers, and it's just like you've just been doing it, and but that's just what happens. That's the other thing. You don't get prepared for like not the downfall, but like you rise in popularity, you peak, and then you just trickle down.
Yeah.
I always compare it to like when Ninja played Fortnite with Drake. I was like, that's gonna be Ninja's the peak. He's not gonna peak any harder than that. Like whatever happens after he's done playing with Drake, it's not going to be as cool, you know. And you can see,
Yeah.
like, I think he's up. Like, I don't even know. Nobody really talks about him that much anymore. He's still popular, but it's just like, but the regular person is not prepared for that. Like, the regular person who gains 1 million followers is not prepared for like the downfall, you know. It's like, yeah, to me,
I think it's a very interesting topic though as well. Like with like this streaming in general, it doesn't seem to be very like a sustainable kind of like a.
Nope. But, sorry, what were we saying?
Yeah, we were talking about I guess growth, and you were talking about how like people, like, it's just normal. Like, you're gonna grow, you're gonna peak at some point, and then, you know, you're gonna be slowly on the downfall.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that's like one of the biggest drawbacks of like YouTube popularity. It's like, I'm like, holy shit, this is cool. I'm getting hundreds of thousands and millions of views. Like, this is awesome. But it's like, you're not prepared mentally when you post a video and you're like, wait, only half the people watch that as they did 3 months ago. Wait, only 10% of the people watch that they did 6 months ago. And it's like, you're not like mentally prepared for that. And for me, I always knew YouTube wasn't gonna be like, let me rephrase it. I always knew that the shit that I was doing on YouTube wasn't gonna be like a forever game. I'm like, you know, I probably could have continued to make like a fairly like healthy living if I really like pushed it hard, but it's just like I have the way that just the algorithm works, and like you have to take things to like such limits. And you know, and right when I had my kid, I'm like, man, I don't want him growing up and like watching all the stuff that I used to do. You know, I want to like, I actually, what's funny is I just started, I haven't even told people about it, but I started a new channel because I really enjoyed doing vlogs and stuff. Like, a lot of people always tell me to come back.
Like snowmobiling and these kind of stuff?
Like, snowmobiling, it's going to be a combination of like all the shit I like to do, because that's a problem. YouTube hasn't really changed much. I mean, it's changed a lot, but like people on YouTube like only really want to watch me do like the gaming stuff and the chat roulette stuff. Well, it's rare. I don't really sit in this computer anymore and talk to people on the computer like ever. I rarely play video games. So how am I supposed to make content for people when I don't even enjoy playing video games? I enjoy playing in like 20-minute spurts, but I don't really enjoy it. So I've been thinking for a while now, I'm like, why don't I just do a channel of shit I actually enjoy, and which is, you know, a vlog channel doing stuff. And so it's, I think I already have like 6 or 7 videos up, but I haven't told anybody. Like, my goal is 10 videos. So there's a good variety on there. So when people actually come, I don't want people just to hit subscribe. I want people to actually be like, oh, this is cool. Like, I want to watch Kyle's life or whatever. You know, I want to keep engaged with what he does, and I can't, you know, my channels are so old and so like so many strikes have gone through. I'm like, I have to start fresh, clean, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says or tells me to do, because I'm just gonna do the stuff I like to do. And I don't even care. Like, my goal isn't to make like money from it. If I make money, cool. But it's like, I go and watch video, like some of my vlog videos from like 7 years ago, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck that anybody watches these. Like, these are like, I enjoy that I can just go on YouTube and find these old videos of like when my son was born, or, you know, just doing things that, you know, there's a lot that goes. There's so much information that's going through my brain, like, that I'm not capable of remembering everything, you know? So when I go back and look at some of these videos, I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about that. Like, I totally forgot like what my kid looked like when he was 6 months old. Like, that's just like shit you just nobody remembers that. Like, you can kind of think back and like faintly, you know, maybe some memories here and there, but I'm like, I'm just gonna make these videos for myself. You know, some of them will involve my kids, some of them will just be you know, like the one I filmed yesterday. I just went up into the woods with my dog and did some razor riding, some cool drone filming, and just shit I like to do. And I'm just tired of people like trying to tell me like when I first started YouTube and everything, I was successful because I just made up cool new shit that nobody else did, you know? like after I was doing chat roulette and hooker pranks and all this stuff, like people actually started doing the same exact shit and you know, being successful at it. So it's like, but for me, it's all about just like trying just to do shit that, you know, people make, like fishing videos, drone videos and stuff, but like I feel like I can add, you know, my personality twist to doing it because I do that shit anyway. I just don't film it nowadays, you know? And so that's just like, yeah, I'm just kind of, I want to do YouTube stuff. They fuck my butt, but I probably deserve that butt fucking, you know? It's like, I definitely push limits, a lot of limits, and especially nowadays, there's no way nowadays that any of the type of content, you know, would last. And and that's a good thing to me, because I don't want to continue to do that on like a daily basis. Like in the last 3 or 4 days, I probably filmed 3 vlogs, had the fucking time of my life. Some of the videos, I mean, I've only shown some like close friends and stuff, but you know, some of the videos I would like, they're cool. It's not out prank calling hookers. It's out, you know, utilizing my personality and stuff, like while like fishing and doing shit I actually do. Like I'll go fishing like 4 or 5 times a week, and it's like, why not, you know, make some memories that I can go watch 10 years from now, and I'm not talking about a hooker's butthole, you know? But actually, like, the biggest thing that I figured out, like, what people understand, when I stopped posting on my YouTube channel, like, it's not like I was making ass loads of money, you know? Not that it's all about like money, but I was like making money. Like, if people don't know the story, I'll make it quick. I had a big channel, 2 million followers, woke up one morning, was terminated. They allowed me to utilize my game, because once you get terminated on YouTube, you're not supposed to have any other channels or anything. But they said, we're not going to give your channel back, but you can keep making videos in that channel. I'm like, okay. So in that channel, I mean, I lost all the people who weren't subscribed to that channel. And sometimes on YouTube, it's like, if somebody hasn't posted for a while, it's not like you go look at their channel, you're just like, man, that guy hasn't posted forever. I haven't seen anything in my feed for him forever. Yeah. Like, some people to this day, I mean, of the 2 million people, there's probably a large portion that just think I just stopped like cold turkey, you know, not realizing that my channel was actually terminated. But on the second channel, I'm like, this is just same shit's gonna happen if I keep making the content that I'm good at. The same shit's gonna happen. And at that time, we kind of started this website that was making, like, had potential to just make these massive amounts of money. And I was like, do I stick on this platform that's already showed that they'll just fucking out of the blue just terminate me? Or do I put a lot of focus into this website that, you know, financially could, you know, excel myself? So I kind of like started doing shit on the website, posting a little bit less, and then.
But I think you transitioned super well actually into like I guess once the strikes and all of the monetization issues started to happen, like you transitioned away to like doing this Beersy, and you also have this other product, the sock. What is it called now again?
The game.
The game, but there's also a pop sock.
Oh, where'd you see that? You Google that?
No, I LinkedIn you. Yeah, pop sock is there? Is that?
No, that's just our family. So we have this beer sleeve that we made. Initially, it just started to, like, you put it over your beer, it makes your beer look like a soda. Now you can go out to places that you can't drink beer at, and you can drink a soda. Not to fucking drive, but more like a beach, a lake that doesn't allow it. Most beaches say no drinking, but everybody drinks anyway. So it's those types of scenarios. But I invented it, you know, a couple years ago, and so now we're trying to get it into like retail and stuff, but we're like, well, we're not going to call it Beersy or like have some of these big brands next to beer hiders. Even though we sell a lot of like edgy stuff on the Beersy type stuff, like political stuff, like just edgy stuff in general. But Pop Sock is like the name, our retail name. So like when we want to, so it sounds all fucking cute and shit. So when we want to go into retail, it's not going to say Beersy, you know, it's just going to be a Pop Sock. So, but yeah, so that kind of came after the website. What mainly fueled the website was my Facebook page. So I went from YouTube to Facebook. Facebook, how we monetized there was to push traffic to the website. But then that stuff started dying out. And all these dudes on Facebook, they're all about drop shipping. That's where you just pick some bullshit like Chinese product in China. You never actually really touch the product, and then you just send a link to the end customer. They buy it, and then China sends it to them. And but it's all just bullshit Chinese shit that everybody, like dime a dozen type products. Like all your fidget spinners are all Chinese stuff. So when people started doing that, I was like, that shit sucks. Like I'm not gonna fucking put bullshit products, and like I'm just gonna make my own product. And that's I'd had this Beersy product for a while, and so I was just like, fuck it. Like I got a handful of money left in my bank account. It was a pretty rough year when it comes to like Facebook and like the website stuff. Facebook cracked down on all that shit. Even though our stuff wasn't like hardcore clickbait, like what they're cracking down on, but everybody gets a short leash, and so I just said fuck it and learned.
That's why actually we have a lot of new traffic as well. That people are complaining that they're not able to do Facebook ads anymore, so they're looking for influencers to spam their products instead.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm surprised I haven't. Like I have a Facebook ad rep for running ads for Beersy stuff, but I'm surprised like I haven't ran into really any issues at all. And actually I was given a rep to be able to do, it's not like a crazy thing to get a rep, but I mean, you got to spend a certain amount of money, but now that, my buddy had an energy drinks, like supplement that they'll let them go for a couple weeks and then they boom, so on Facebook, it takes a while to like build your audiences and stuff like that. So like when they say like, hey, go for a month or two, and then they just shut you off and say, no, sorry, you're F. Like it's kind of like malpractice for business, and it's and like everybody, all your like CBD stuff, even if they say it's fine, it's not actually fine. They will fuck you. So I'm tired of being in control of like people like these big platforms like YouTube. Like that, I woke up one morning, 2 million followers. Literally was like my life was not. At the time, my life was dedicated to it. In this time that I said I'm gonna be doing this, and just boom, gone. They didn't give a fuck. They're like, hey, you got a couple strikes. Like, I'm like, well, I just had a kid. Can we get this figured out? Because I went from college, literally making no money, to doing this. What the fuck else do I know how to do, and then moving over to Facebook. Like Facebook's like, oh, you've got that picture offends us, so we're gonna remove it and reduce your reach by 50%. It's like oh cool, well, you guys are God. And so that's what I enjoyed about the Beersy stuff. It wasn't like dependent really on, social media can take down some of the videos and stuff like that, but it's not like it was fucking like there's no God that had their hand over Beersy and could just pull at any time. Even though everything has its issues though. Like our issue with the Beersy stuff is Chinese knockoffs on platforms where these platforms all say they're gonna. I have a patent and everything, so nobody else can. But they say they're gonna protect you, and they really don't give a fuck. They really don't care. So there's always problems doing anything, and I'm to the point now where it doesn't even like faze me. Like we just got this thing in the mail last Friday, and it was like, oh, we noticed that your Beersy, which I have a patent for, is infringing on our utility patent. You better be giving us a royalty. And I'm just like, well, here, give it to the attorneys and let them figure it out, because
sounds like the whole similar thing with all of this YouTube monetization requests or these the random companies just claiming that the video is theirs.
Yeah, there's always shitty people, man. Every that's what I've realized on all these platforms. It's like think of a bunch of your just take a second, think of like your best 5 friends. Like I'm sure you got some assholes in there, but there's probably not just truly a shitty person, But people that do stuff like that, that's they don't care. It could be somebody making $50 a month, and they'll come in and claim their shit. It's just shitty people. Shitty people. Why do shitty people like that have access to those tools to claim somebody else's content? How is that even a thing? But they won't give a single like civilian, any of that shit, you know? And all this social media stuff is tailored so hard now towards like these big corporations. It's fucking crazy. So like my goal, hopefully in the next like 3 years, is make a fuck ton of money, and I will literally be deleting probably almost all my social media stuff, especially like this, like fucking TikTok. I could sit there and scroll forever, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is such a waste of time.
Yeah, I was wondering what's your thoughts on TikTok. It's
a cool platform, and it's a cool algorithm. I mean, it's definitely entertains, but it's a waste of time. And that's why, for me starting this new like vlog channel, that's like why I'm like, dude, I'm sitting in here fucking swiping for an hour. Why don't I go out and do something and just film it? You know, why don't I?
I think it's the same thing with gaming as well, because I used to game a lot as well, like Call of Duty and everything like that. But now it's like, I guess the older I get, the more I see that as a kind of like a time sink as well. I feel guilty if I game for like an hour straight.
Yeah, and same with, so I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately, like with my boys. We watch all these guys that go do these, it's called a catch and cook, where you go catch a fish and then you immediately cook it, you know, and they do a bunch of like other like adventure type stuff. And I'm like, I'm sitting in there watching, I'm like, why the fuck are we sitting in, like, why am I sitting here putting so much energy into these guys wasting time? And I go fishing and stuff all the time and razor ride, and I finally just to the point where I'm just like, this is stupid. Like, why don't I just film all the shit that I do on a regular basis? One, because now I can tell my wife, hey, I'm gonna go film a video. Now it's kind of, you know, hopefully I get to the point I make a couple bucks and I can actually say to her, like, I'm going on a razor ride / like I'm going to film some shit, you know, like for my channel that, you know, makes me whatever, $50 a month. I don't care. Like, and it's kind of like a built-in excuse to actually go do more shit. Like yesterday, which was a Thursday, and I would usually never do it on a Thursday. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to take the razor, my dog. I'm going to go way up into the mountains and fish in this creek and, you know, just kind of hang out. I took a drone. I was flying into this hidden secret waterfall and like just kind of just commentating over me, like going into the waterfall. And I'm like, this is the shit. Like, if I can make money from doing this, which I'm going to, I'm like,
there's definitely, there's even a dude that's like sitting on TikTok, and I've been watching, it keeps popping up on my live stream feed on TikTok. He's just sitting in a lake playing some like this weird ball type of instrument, and it's like people are just like donating money like crazy to him. I'm curious to like, I noticed you have, it so much reminded me of the Vitaly CD TV Uncensored, but you have this uncensored thing as well. Do you still put any focus on that, or does it like, is it still like kind of?
I'm up and down with it. So I was on my computer. I opened up an old computer. I found an old hard drive that had literally every single one of my videos like I've ever made, minus a couple here and there. But at least like the YouTube videos, almost all the shit I ever made. And I'm like, I get people that ask me every day, like, where can I find your old videos? Because most of them are gone. The ones that are left up are nothing like, you know, I got rid of a bunch just because I'm like, oh, this could get a strike, that could get a strike. But all the ones that were on my old channel, which, you know, I think there's 700 videos total that I've put on this site. But I find, you know, people have been asking me for like 5 years, and I finally was like, fuck it, why don't I just throw it all up there? There is like a subscription involved, but I mean, most people I just give a free month, and basically they just, you know, take the free month, see how many videos you watch. If you want to stick around, let them do it. But it's nothing like, when I say uncensored, like there's some, every now and then you run into something on like Chatroulette or something like that. So it's like, it's not like Vitaly's is probably him like actually like fucking people, you know, it's probably like porn, you know, so it's definitely not like that. There's just a couple spots, and, you know, everybody, it's more like uncensored because I can just post whatever I want. I'm not like super active in posting, but I mean, there's 700 videos on there. So if like people want to go check it out, like, and they want to see some old content, if that's what they want to do, then, you know, and it costs money to like host that shit and stuff. So it's like, I'll just charge people $10 and see. Oh, let me see. That was my wife. No. But yeah, and I push it here and I push it there, but it's just like, I don't want, like, between me and you, like, I don't really, like, I'm not like crazy about that life anymore. I'm not crazy about like wanting to continue to do that stuff. It's like I'm 33 now, and my kids are starting to get into YouTube videos and shit, and like I'm like, no, one of the days these are gonna pop up and they're gonna be like, is that my dad? What'd he say to that girl? He's gonna rape her? What? And I'm just like, no, I don't want to, like, whatever. It's not, maybe if I didn't get terminated and stuff, like that wouldn't be my mindset, but now it's my mindset that I've kind of moved on from other stuff and started other businesses and stuff like that. Now it's like, now I can kind of look and see like, that's not like the best look, you know?
Yeah, I think really the goal with all of this online presence is like once you get some traction and you grow, then eventually like how do you leverage this? And I think you've done a really good job at that. I noticed also in one of the YouTube comments, I don't know if that's another secret project or is it actually happening. You mentioned somebody asked that the same thing, like do a podcast, and you mentioned that there might be something in the plans. Is it actually done in the plans or
not for podcasts? I was referring to this channel, the new channel that I'm doing, which is just a traditional like vlog channel, and I do a ton of stuff, man. It's like I have a problem that I'm into just so many things. Like it's crazy. I mean, you should see this fucking desk over here. There's like 7 drones that I've only flown one of them in the last like 3 months. Actually, no, that's a lie. I took 2 of them with me yesterday. But it's like I'm just into like so much, like, you know, Razor. I have a Razor. I got these snow bike things. I got dirt bikes. Like I'm just into like so many things. But I don't always use all the shit, and that's like, I don't use it. I do every now and then, but I'm like, you know what would make me use it? When I go on a Tuesday and say like, hey, I'm gonna do a dirt bike video that I haven't ridden in a few months. I'm gonna go do a dirt bike video, not necessarily a dirt bike video. I'm gonna utilize the dirt bike video to go to this, say like cool area and hang out, do whatever. I'm not talking like fucking highlight wheelie videos, you know. I'm talking more just like a transportation vehicle, you know, camp off the back of the dirt bike or you know, go do. What I kind of figure out is people don't really like riding videos where it's just straight. They more like adventure videos where it's like, all right, so I'm going to take my bike up. The goal for today is to roll this fucking house-sized rock down the road. Everybody loves rock rolling. But that's what I was referring to in the comments. They're like wanting me to post more. It's podcasts, even though this is a podcast and I'm fine with doing them every now and then, like I hate like talking especially when there's nothing to really talk about. Like that was the problem with our podcast. It would be like, oh, we just talked about all this last episode. This sucks.
Also, there's probably so many times you can talk about yourself as well and tell the story, I guess.
I mean, we would talk about like current events and shit on our podcast, but like usually when I go on other and that's the thing, like nothing against you or other people, because it's like I did all this shit and then I was kind of like laid low for a little bit, but it's like I've told the same story and saying, you know, I'm having like deja vu over here. I'm like, did I already tell this guy all this? But it's interesting, and that's like always what people want to know. And that's another just kind of drawback of this game. It's like actually the other day some dude was like, aren't you that Beersy guy? And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's finally somebody like said that, rather than like, aren't you that hooker prank guy, you know? And we just went to a big rodeo this last weekend, and like I haven't had people. Now everybody, you know, you got to wear your mask and shit, which fuck that anyway. But not fuck that, but it's obviously getting ridiculous. But so I haven't been recognized in a while. And then we went to this bar. And then out of the blue, there's like 6 dudes that recognized me. It was pretty interesting. But it's funny. They're all like younger, and they're like, I used to watch you when I was 13. I'm like, you're 21 now? Holy shit! Like, what's wrong with your parents?
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, probably you, and like even for me, like I probably started watching you when I was 13, and like since like my parents separated as well, you probably like had a good decent chunk of an impact of like like what I'm doing now. It's like you and Woody probably inspired me to again like start making content and go to film school. You know, Woody gave me therapy sessions when I didn't have a dad here, you know, in my country, and it's still very, very like cool to see kind of like a cultural impact how all of this is having as well.
Yeah, and it's like when you're doing it, you don't really like, you're just like living it, especially when you first start booming. And that's how, like I was saying, that's how it works. You boom and then, but like every time people ask me like, dude, where have you been? It's like, I've still been out doing shit. Like I'm posting stuff on Instagram and stuff all the time. Like, you know, it's not like I'm just not doing what I used to do, you know, but it's like, it's just like when you're taking this like ride up, it's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, this is awesome. I'm gonna, you know, fuck, I gotta make more videos. I gotta keep doing it. But you don't really realize like you're actually influencing, you know, influencers. You're actually like influencing people's lives. Like I'll talk about like celebrity. So super small time like celebrity. Like when people used to talk to me, they thought they were like talking to like fucking Brad Pitt. You know, it's like these people don't just think you're just like some online influencer that are into your content. Like you're like Brad Pitt. You know, obviously not Brad. Whoever, like you're like a true like celebrity to them, you know, like and that's like what I wasn't ready for that. Like it wasn't like, it's like, yeah. Oh, that's not what I was going for. Honestly, all I was going for to start, I'm like, fuck, I can make a living doing this, like, you know, and that's not something I'm like, that's not something like I shy away from saying, you know, like I started so I could make a better living. I started so I could make money for my family and do cool shit, you know. I only because I knew I could be good at it, you know, but I never sold out, at least. I mean, I guess it depends on like your definition. Some people will be like, why are you doing that ad for them, you sell out? And like, you know what a sellout is? Somebody that says they would never do something for money and then they do it for money. Like, yeah. Like people think just because you make money you're being a sellout, and that's, I don't know.
Plus, a lot of the stuff you're promoting right now, you're like directly involved. Or even it's your own product.
Yeah, and that's always my favorite thing. Like, people saw me, and we have a mobile game, and people saw me in one of the ads. They're like, "What a fucking sellout!" I'm like, "Dude, this is like part my company. Like, that's not selling out when you at least took the time and like the risk to make your own product. Like, you know what's selling? It's still not selling out, but like drop shipping. You're just taking somebody else's content, their idea, and all the shit, and you're
not adding any value.
Not wanting to put effort into it because all the effort's already been done in taking content. You're not even making the content, and you're selling the stuff, you know.
It's happening on YouTube, by the way, as well. There's like ads that I'm getting now. It's like start your own rain falling channel, and people making money off that, just copy pasting royalty free music and rain stock footage.
Dude, it's. A lot of the people we take down on Amazon with our patent are like, oh, I didn't know you're a patent. I just signed up for this program and they said this is a good product to sell. I'm just like, fuck you. Like where, like, that's the other problem with the internet. Like, everything's so easy. It's just so easy. You know, there's people probably making millions and millions of dollars, like selling shit that they had no part of, you know. I mean, if you're good at like marketing and stuff, I suppose that's your skill, but it's like these people, they're just like, why didn't you research whether you could sell that? You just listen to some like BS company. So, there's so
interesting how people
have. This is why I gotta make YouTube videos, because like my brain doesn't have the fucking capacity to deal with all this stuff. Like, and I've noticed. I mean, maybe it's because I'm getting older. I mean, I'm still in my like prime age, you know, but like my memory is just like shot. You know, it's like, so much shit has happened in the last week. How the fuck do you expect me to remember what happened 7 years ago? Like big important moments when my kids were born, or, you know, like getting married and stuff. Like that's why I want to make these pieces of content on a brand new channel, so I don't got people being like, dude, this isn't what I subscribed for. I subscribed for hooker pranks. You know, but you don't want to be a dick and hurt their feelings. So that's why I'm just like, no, well, then I'm just going to start a new channel and people can subscribe.
It's also interesting how people take the time to leave in these kind of comments. I basically creeped your all social channels before doing this. I even right now saw there was like a dude you posted just recently something on Instagram. It was like, yeah, me and my sister or something like that, and somebody was like roasting you about like, oh, these sister jokes are getting old.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's my stepsister, by the way.
Yeah, so what he's referring to is I always joke when I take a picture with my wife I'm like, oh my, I'll make incest jokes. And like I did on one of the recent posts, I just made the same joke, like, oh, my sister just turned like whatever 32, and somebody's just like, man, this sister joke's getting so old. He was getting all bent out of shape about the damn sister joke. But I'm like, who gets stressed out about that shit? Like, okay, you don't have to think. That's what I always used to tell people who would actually take the time to write, like, this isn't funny. I just go, well, then keep fucking scrolling. Like, why are you taking your time to go tell something negative to somebody? Like, just keep fucking scrolling. Like, I don't understand. Like,
and they're actually helping you anyway, because that's gonna boost the algorithm to more people.
You want me to delete it? Like, do you want me to delete this whole video because you, out of 300,000 people, didn't think it's funny? Like, there's lots of people that don't think it's funny, but same with everything in life. I don't think fucking tomatoes are good. Oh, okay, well, let's not sell tomatoes to people. Let's stop growing tomatoes because I don't think they're. It's like, yeah. Maybe I overanalyze the dude's comment, but it just like, it's like, dude, what, do I just stop the joke now? It's a fucking 10-year running joke. Like, yeah, my sister is also my wife. Like, I know I don't think it's funny. I just fucking say it because it's weird, you know? But it's like, yeah, it's just like, and I actually don't get bent out of shape on that stuff. Sometimes I love responding to like the negative comments just to be a dick. But it's like, and that's the other thing with the internet, like in YouTube videos, like they don't prepare you for like dude, I've had people like say they're gonna kill my whole family and like all this shit. Like, I mean, nowadays when I post something, even though people want me to post, they'll be like, man, this guy, what's the word they use? This guy's so washed up, or maybe washed up. What is like this? What's the new age street cred word? I don't fucking know. But I mean, people are just like, dude, give it up. You're so wide. I'm like, I'm not the one who like. I am only posting because people wanted me to post. Like, but at the same time, to me, I just tell people like, well, I had a channel with 1.3 million followers that I just one day decided not to post on anymore.
You're talking about cloud chasing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But he's over there thinking of the word. But I tell people I'm like, I made the decision to turn this into a dead channel and go work on other shit. One, mainly the big reason is because I'm not good at focusing on like two things at the same time. Like, I put like everything into one thing. So it's like, how am I supposed to make YouTube videos and focus fully on this website? But it's like I'm kind of glad like I made, and that's what I'll tell you. I made the decision to not post. And some people will be like, dude, this fucking channel's dead. They don't take 2 seconds to be like, wait, he hasn't posted in 3 years. No shit, the channel's dead, you know?
Yeah.
But it's.
Are you still monetized, by the way?
I just remonetized the other day just out of curiosity. And that's another thing that motivated me to kind of just start a vlog channel and kind of start fresh from a financial standpoint. So I used to always only make like videos around like 3 minutes, lots of quick cuts. There was no mission to any of the videos. It was just fucking talk shit, do whatever, you know? Well, I posted a video the other day on my main channel. I was like, let's see what happens when, a lot of the YouTubers will make their videos over 10 minutes long. You just bump up the ad revenue, you get more ads. So I was like, I'll just try it with a chat roulette video and put some vlog stuff in it. I mean, it only got 20,000 views, but it made $100. And like my old thing would be like, hey, if for every 1,000 views, I'm probably gonna make $100, you know? So I'm like, man, that's a little more incentive for the vlog stuff as well. It's like, make a 14, 18 minute long video, which bumps up the ads even more. Maybe I can make like a decent living. And so the reason I'm focusing on that, so our Beersy stuff, we sell a lot of Beersies, but I'm not the biggest fan of like taking money out of the business rather than throwing it at like more like marketing sources and stuff like that. So by me having to take out like my salary, it kind of like slows things down on the Beersy side. So I'm like, all right, I got to kind of try. I'm going to go for this new revenue source of like I know that in like 6 months, I could probably build a 100,000 follower channel, like probably fairly simply, just because, you know, I still have, you know, big YouTube channels and stuff like that I can promote it on. So I start thinking and crunching the numbers. Well, you know, you get, say, like 30,000 views a video, 15-minute long videos, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can probably make a pretty healthy living off of doing something like that. And then I don't have to cripple my Beersy business by taking these big chunks of money out and paying myself. So that's kind of like, that's another kind of process behind the vlog channel.
Curious how you... No, that's super cool. I was wondering, like, if for example, let's say you didn't have, let's say you have all the knowledge that you've gained all these years, but you didn't have that following right now, like how you would start from scratch if you were to do so. And like, yeah, let's say there's an aspiring YouTuber out there, and now you're gonna, now you gotta help them, give them tips to virality.
So I would say the most underestimated thing that we use, not underestimated, like the main thing that we use is Instagram paid promotions on like meme pages and shit. Now I'm talking only because I've never done it before. I mean, I started from scratch, but the way you start from scratch now is probably different than back then. Like back then, I'm like, okay, what kind of free marketing can I utilize? So like how I got my YouTube shit started, I'm like, well, anybody can go fucking comment on another person's piece of content. So what I would do, since I believe that my like hooker pranks were pretty interesting and cutting edge, so I would go on to like popular people's videos, and typically if you're one of the first people to comment on there, you have the higher chances of being like that top comment. I'd be like, hey, WoodysGamerTag, like you should come do hooker pranks with me. Well, if you read that, you'd be like, what the fuck's a hooker prank? I want to go see what those are. So that was like my main growth tactic until it kind of hit this snowball point where people were just liking and sharing my content anyway. But that, I mean, I would be up till 2-3 in the morning sometimes just commenting and engaging with people. And if you have a cool idea, it makes it a lot easier. You can still probably do it that way, but if you're like, I play video games and talk over it, people are gonna be like, shut the fuck up, everybody does that. Like, but now, like, if you have some money to spend, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not gonna spend money like promoting with people. But nowadays, if you have money to spend, Instagram, like meme pages, like that whole marketplace, just like messaging a page, hey, do you do promotions? They say yes. They get about 500,000 views a video, or you know, or whatever. Everybody has different views per video. You know, and then you just take some of your highlight content that you think everybody's gonna think is funny, haha, you know, and then you just utilize it with that page. You probably got to push them to your own Instagram, and then on your Instagram, you push them to your YouTube. It's still gonna be a lot of work, cost you some money, but in the long run, I think if you pick like the proper demo and stuff, then the things just kind of start snowballing. When people share your content, they like your content. YouTube's like, holy shit, like 70% people are watching 70% of the content, or 70% of like his videos. Like, let's keep pushing that out, you know. And then YouTube starts working for you. So then that's what I know is different nowadays with me watching YouTube videos. I don't even subscribe to people. They just know what the fuck I want to watch. Like they just know, like they just keep feeding me stuff that I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's the same
thing. When I was actually like putting together some notes, like what to chat here, YouTube afterwards actually started to recommend me like 7-8-year-old videos of you talking about like what happened with the monetization, and the network came to help, and they know, even though wasn't subscribed even to the new channel.
And that's like a big part of my vlog channel. It's like, on my vlog channel, like I know they have to be like interesting videos, but I know if I have 10 videos up there, and I'll probably pick the most interesting one to start promoting, but I know instantly you watch that video, it's gonna start throwing my other videos at you, you know? So, and that's actually a cool thing. They figure out the shit that you like, and you start watching like a creator like over and over again. They'll keep feeding you. If you stop watching it, they'll start kind of slowly taking them out of your feed. So that's the other part that has me interested. Like if you can make interesting like high retention content, like YouTube will do all the work for you, which is like some of these fishing guys, they're not even fishing guys, they're just more adventure guys like that I've been watching. Like majority of their videos have more views than they do subscribers. That's because it's high retention, people are interested in that content, and YouTube is just like, well, let's just feed them to random people. And that's like the main page on YouTube now. It's not even your subscriptions, it's this feed, you know. So that's what's kind of got me excited, because I know I can make entertaining videos eventually once I kind of get back into the like the groove of things. But I know my audience would, I'm even a little nervous about promoting it on my Instagram and stuff, because I know they're gonna be like, fuck that, call as many hookers as you can right now, So
I've heard some other channels as well.
I want to take the Beersy approach on this, which is starting from scratch. Like Beersy, I barely ever post on my own personal stuff about it. It's self-running. We run Facebook and Instagram ads, make money from that. That money goes back into the account. We run more ads. Everything is paid for from that. All the marketing is its own on other Instagram pages. So you would think every now and then I'll use like my Facebook page story and stuff like that, but that doesn't do shit. Like what does well is like the Beersy has a completely different audience. When I was telling people on my Snapchat about the Beersy, they're like, I don't get it. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, are you guys fucking nerds? Like, what do you mean you don't get it? You put it over your goddamn beer and you can go drink your beer or whatever. They're like, oh, how do I use that playing like gaming? I'm just kidding, Snapchat guys. I'm not actually talking shit about you. But it's like some people I had like a Discord and people were like, I don't understand. And I'm like, that's when I first realized, I'm like, all right, this is not the right demo. Like I'm not just going to promote it to my following just to get a couple sales, because you're just going to piss people off because they don't know that you made that stuff up. So
yeah, plus I think the only thing you're going to do if you're going to, I guess, promote your new channel with these old channels, you're just going to get a ton of people subscribing who don't actually care about the content.
Yeah, no, they're going to subscribe and realize that it's like, oh, I don't give a shit about Kyle doing this. I want Kyle to go do, prank calls and stuff like that. But no, I have like a Instagram channel that same thing. I basically just started fresh. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw tomahawks. Like that would be a cool basis for
I saw that, yeah.
Channel, So it's like that's the channel and there's like 75,000 people that have been subscribing for that. And there are some people who are from my old stuff, but they're okay with watching that stuff. So that's probably where I'll start. Be like, hey, I'm starting a new channel. I know those guys like that type of like outdoorsy tomahawk throwy type stuff. So I'll probably start there and just kind of slow, like just do it the right way rather than trying to take any shortcuts. And it does nothing if 1,000 people from my main page come and subscribe and don't like it. I want people to actually click the subscribe button because they want to see the next video of me doing vlog content, not because they supported my old stuff. Like it's cool that they support me, but like that's not what YouTube's really, that doesn't help me on YouTube,
Yeah, I don't want to hold you off too long. I maybe at some point mentioned to you as well. In the beginning when I thought actually that you got like removed from YouTube, it was because of these predator pranks. I know that was like a big deal at some point, and you actually, me as a 15-year-old kid, you inspired me to do the same thing, and I can vouch for that. It worked really well. It's
so easy to do it. Just like it's just crazy how easy it is to find true real child predators. Like it's not like it's not like a clickbait headline. They're actually like child predators. Even though I dangled some bait in front of them, who gives a fuck? They're kids, man. When you're pretending to be a 13-year-old girl and some dude gets, you shouldn't be having that conversation with the 26-year-old. Why the fuck would a 26-year-old guy like take that bait? Like
I think I did it with my friend for an hour, and I think we got as well like 10 guys. Some of them were like even in their like 70s, 80s. It was like it just blew my mind. I guess I'm still traumatized.
Yeah, and a lot of them like some people would be like, well, they didn't do. I mean, some people just straight had their dong out, but like you can just tell from the conversation just before I would bust them, the way they would chat. It's like, you shouldn't be on here. You're a 13-year-old, even though you're sending me a private chat. And it was just like that stuff I never really had fun doing because it was like so fucked up.
Yeah.
And
but I guess it got a lot of views, right?
It did on Facebook. Facebook, there was one that got
really?
25 million views in like 6 hours. I was refreshing my follower count on my Facebook page. Every refresh, I would gain like 5,000 followers. It was the most insane thing. And then the video was just gone. Like, it broke their shit so hard that I didn't get in trouble for it. It just got taken. It was just gone. Like, it didn't even tell me. I didn't get a violation or anything. You know, I mean, I kind of understood that I'm making videos calling these people child predators, even though, like, that's quite the statement. But, and I'm not, it's not like in the videos I showed all the conversations and everything, you know, but like, it was fun doing. But once I couldn't do it on YouTube and like actually, you know, I mean, it was a good deed on me, I suppose. But like it's hard for me to put a lot of focus into that, just doing it for fun and not put it on YouTube and you know, make some revenue off of it. It sounds kind of shitty, but it's like, I'm not like fucking Batman. Like I'm making the content to you know, for during my time that I'm making content to make YouTube videos, you know, like, and I did, I could go do one right now and just bust the shit out of people. But yeah, I got multiple violations for that on YouTube. And so I you know, I kind of just, well, I had to stop doing it, especially on YouTube, but it's funny, like Facebook, whatever, you know, so I gained like this massive following of like 30-year-old moms, like, it's just fucking, it's just funny how it works. And like, like when you hit something like massively viral, it's just like, I mean, it's fun. Like that's like a rush when it's just like shit is just ultimately blowing up. But like, I mean, I had a video on Facebook that had like 10 million views, but it was just like, oh, cool. You know, it's like the side of just making content to blow up and make it, you know, and just get a shitload of views. Like, that doesn't do it. Like, I can go post anything on my Facebook at any time. Yeah. Not bragging, but like the Facebook's so big. Like, but now I just want to do like views with purpose. Like, I'd rather like make these vlogs like I'm
planning to use TikTok as well.
People watch my vlog channel. Like, I literally don't give a fuck. Like, I am gonna push it to eventually make money and stuff. But if it just doesn't pan out and doesn't go how I think it's gonna go, I don't give a shit, because I'm basically just taking these memories and shit and putting them on there. So it's like, for me, it's like, that's worst case scenario. I get to go watch these videos in 10 years and be like, man, when I was 30, you know, younger 30s, like, that was fucking cool, you know? Like, so that's where I'm at. Like, I'm taking them a little bit more friendly for YouTube, and so I'm not like swearing and stuff like that. Like, it's just I want, like, I'm literally, for my kids to watch them 10 years from now is kind of more what I'm like going, you know, maybe I die or something 7 years from now, and they want to go down memory lane and look at all these videos, you know, 20 years from now that are still on YouTube. So I don't want to say anything mean to get any violations.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've stolen enough of your time already. How's the COVID situation? I talked about
myself the whole time. What about you?
No, that's super cool. Like, I'm basically trying to figure out the YouTube scene now as well. Like,
is this your first video?
No, actually, I do have a couple of videos. Actually, I have another gaming channel myself where I used to do content like around 100 videos. Now I started a new one where I wanted to, I guess, start providing a little bit more value, or even just try to do something other than gaming. But it is actually first like an actual conversation, sit down type of thing. Yeah. So it's a little bit clunky, I guess, but yeah, I'm totally in the same boat where it's like, you have so many ideas that you want to do, so many different passion projects, kind of. Yeah. And then it's like, if I kind of, it seems like if I want to get good at YouTube and the algorithm, I need to focus on something I'm good at. And then it's like, you know, influencer marketing, but it's like the last thing I want is to have a bunch of marketers subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, fuck, you don't want to tell people all your ideas on how to like do stuff, you know? Do a marketing course. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, so I guess I'm
a month. I'm in.
Yeah, like, so I guess I'm trying to a little bit figure out my place in the YouTube lands myself as well. I think I just really would like to create content around the creator space itself, and just talk to smarter people like you who've been doing it.
I would say, like, just do what you enjoy, and, you know, might work out, it might not, but like, for me, it was like I could never just do something that I not like having fun doing, you know, and that's like why I'm doing this big change. It's like I don't have fun doing all that, and that's the whole premise of this conversation. I don't have fun doing all that old shit, so it's so hard for me to even feel good about posting. Like I don't feel good about posting that stuff because like I had a little bit of fun maybe, but nothing, you know, it's not like I enjoy doing it on a daily basis. So like I would like figure out what do you enjoy doing on like a daily basis, and instead of just like trying to fucking make tons of shit that, you know, you think you should make stuff that you actually do and enjoy. And you know, you're a smart guy. When we were talking about the Modash stuff, I was like, you guys aren't fucking idiots, you know. So it's like show off what you do that's unique, you know. So that's what I would say. That's my heart to heart.
Yeah, no, that's super nice to hear, and like I was a little bit afraid how clunky this is going to be. You know, everything always breaks the first time, but yeah, very thankful that you even took the time to chat with me. But how's the COVID situation there? I know that you were secretly having corona.
We everything's all good. I mean, to me, I wasn't like terribly concerned. I mean, I got it even before I got my test. I was like, I have it because I can't taste shit. But it, like, I mean, we're a younger family and stuff. We got 3 kids, so like I knew it wasn't gonna be that crazy for me, but the main thing, I was just like exhausted. I had to take like a couple naps a day. Like I didn't get like a fever or anything, but now we're all over it. My wife got it like 6 days after I got it, which kind of sucked because I had to quarantine, she had to quarantine, so we were like just locked up for like 3 weeks. I tried to be fairly responsible. I didn't want to go around like a ton of people. Like when she had it, even though I technically didn't have it anymore. So, it's all over, all good. The kids didn't show any symptoms or anything. So I'm kind of glad I got it because now, you know, now my body at least is aware of what it was, and I haven't got the vaccine yet, but.
I guess that now that you got it, I guess it's not there.
I don't know if it necessarily works like that. Just with like you know, you get the flu, but you still, you know, you get a flu shot and you still can get the flu. So it's like, or is that what I'm saying? Oh,
the other way around.
Flu, but I can get the flu again next year. Sorry, that's what I was saying. So it's like, you know.
I don't know. Here it's interesting because here they don't like if you're vaccinated or if you can prove to them that you've had corona, then you can go to the events or you sit in a restaurant now.
Yeah, see, they ain't playing that shit here, and I'm not like I try not to like get into it and stuff, but it's like even like today I went to the store and I'm thinking I fucking had this shit 2-3 weeks ago. Like I'm not wearing a damn mask. I'm not like even a big anti-masker or anything. Even like around the time where I thought I had COVID and after, even though I was out of quarantine, I was like, fuck it, I'll wear a mask because I just had it recently, and who knows if I might still have it, even though I'm out of like the guidelines, these weird guidelines. But it's like I went in the store, I'm like my fucking breath smells like shit. I ain't gonna breathe in my nose right now. Like I just had it, so I know I don't have it, so I'm not gonna give it to anybody. And it's just like nobody said anything. It's not like I don't like making it a big deal. It's just nobody said anything. I know I don't have it. You know, if somebody wants to say something, I'll say I just had it, so I know I don't have it now. So it's like I just don't like wearing them. I just don't like it. I like not even saying like I don't like not protecting people. I just don't like fucking wearing something over my face that I'm breathing out of and into my nose, and it gets all sweaty and shit, and I know I don't have it, so it's like.
But now gotta be careful. Now you might get cancelled if you say anything like that.
Yeah, see, and I don't give a shit about that. It's like I'm not like one of our actually really close friends' sister just died of COVID. You know, it's like I'm not like a fucking guy that's like COVID is nothing. Like, don't get vaccinated. Like I would have told her, the girl that died, that you're like the prime suspect to get vaccinated. You know, like. She was pretty large. Like, you're the prime person that should probably get vaccinated. But the problem is, I'm not going to go in too deep. But the problem is, she was the type of person that was like, no, I ain't getting the vaccine. So, you know, it's like, I don't know what to say. I just know I'm getting here, but and I'm not really even completing sentences just because it's such a weird topic. I'm not the same person as a fucking 70-year-old person. I'm not the same person as a 20-year-old person who weighs 350 pounds. Like, to me, I know that I'm healthy. I know right now. I know that when I went to the store today, I recently had COVID and didn't have it. So I know whether the people who are telling me to wear a mask, you know, whether they want to believe me or not. I just had fucking COVID. I don't have it, so I'm not gonna put something over my face. Like, give me a month and maybe I'll put a mask back on. But I know I just had it, so I'm not gonna have it, you know, for the next month. I'll make that deal with you. I'll wear it when I'm in here in a month from now. So.
Yeah. I also like, why do you get up at 5 every day?
No. It's just we play basketball 2 times a week, and I just started going again since I played basketball like last weekend. I fucking felt like I was gonna die because I literally just got out of quarantine, and it definitely did some type of number on my lungs. My like lung capacity is pretty low, but then now I'm going back to playing 2 times a week, and no, there's probably no other reason I'd get up at 5 for unless it was doing something like I enjoy. So
yeah, I'm vaccinated myself, and like for me it's as well like I don't know anything about medicine, so it's like if smarter people tell me that I should vaccinate, then that's how I decide to do it right now.
Yeah, and like I'm not like opposed to that. Like if like my doctor or something was like, hey, you know, with your body type, blah 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 blah, you should get vaccinated, I'd be like, no.
Also, I guess
like
in Europe
needles.
it's a little bit different because like in Estonia it's like sad and cold outside, so it's like I want to go somewhere warm and nice, so it's like I need to show that vaccination passport if I want to go anywhere. So that's like another level for me too.
Yeah, but for me it's like I support the vaccine. Like it's not like I'm like don't get the vaccine. I 100% do. For me, it's like, do I really want to get a fucking shot? Like that's like I hate getting shots. I don't get a flu shot. I don't do any of that shit. I don't take fucking vitamins, supplements, and all that stuff. Like, I just like, hey, if it gets me, it gets me, you know? Like, shit happens, you know? Like, my wife gets a nice little payout for my life insurance. But it's like, just because somebody says that, like, oh, I'm not getting it, they're like, are you fucking anti-vax? Like, you don't believe in that? I'm like, no, I do. I just don't want to get a shot. I just, even if it was in pill form, it's like, I don't take medicine. I just fucking chill. I just live I'm not like, and I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm like saying don't do that shit. I don't know who's watching this. I'm saying my main thing is I just don't want to. Like, and I should be able to say I don't want to. Now if I can't go to fucking Applebee's because they won't let me in, all right, I'll go to Wendy's, you know. It's like I'm not stressed. I'm not gonna go make a fucking scene at Applebee's because I'm not vaccinated. Like I'll just order Uber Eats or something. I might have to take off here where my wife is actually in like 10 minutes.
I actually had the same thing. My girlfriend is spamming you way high. Yeah, I believe that. But yeah, nice chatting. Yeah, I guess we can wrap this up, and I'll let you go, and we can keep in touch. Yeah.
Well, let's do this again in 6 months. We're just gonna talk about general shit, and
we're gonna do a recap, and then we're gonna compare if I was able to beat you at your own YouTube game.
Yeah. Okay. Deal.
Nice.
Deal.
Let's do this.
And then
see you, man.
I'm sure you're gonna probably learn so much shit by then. We're gonna be on fucking Zoom.
I've like some strategies are pretty crazy, or like people like plan their content where it's like, well, okay, now today I'm gonna live stream about these 3 different topics. I'm gonna then cut YouTube videos out of these 3 different topics, and within those 3 topics I'm gonna have like separate like highlighted TikTok clips as well, so I guess you can go like super crazy with it.
Yeah, that's deep. That's too deep for me. I take it as simple as possible. For me, like I just I'm like, fuck
Yeah, I would probably die as well.
Cool,
Yeah.
that sounds. I'll be walking and be like, oh, cool. I'll film that, chop it up. It'll be up 20 minutes later, you know.
Nice. Okay, but yeah, 6 months sounds great. But I'll let you
Deal.
go.
All right,
Bye-bye,
man. Thanks for having me on. Cool.
Sure.
I'll keep in touch. I got you on Skype, so perfect.
Yeah. Thanks a bunch. Bye bye.
All right, love you. Bye.
Bye.